Hey, Sir Fix-a-Lot here. I'm going to show you how to change or lubricate the tracks of a 1992 Acura NSX. The window here, it goes up a little bit on the slow side. You can kind of see it gets stuck here. It comes down okay, but going up, it's slow. One of the first pieces to remove here is this panel. This is just a putty knife with some tape on the edge. Put it on the forward leading edge of this piece, and then kind of push at the same time as kind of rocking it back and forth. And it should come out like this. So it has a couple of anchors on this side here. Once you pull that back a little bit, it'll slide right out. And then it has hooks located here that slide into 3 points over here. So once you have this out, this will allow you to remove this handle assembly here. So there are a total of 7 screws. I don't know if you can see them, but these ones here are the smaller ones. There's a really small one that goes in the bottom here, and then these two over here are this kind of like medium-sized one. And then there's 4 in the back here that are all the same size. They're kind of a brass or gold-looking ones. They're actually steel, but anyway, they're plated. Sorry, they're zinc-plated. So those go on those are the 4 in the back. You can't actually remove this handle yet. Because it's tied to the door panel up here. You have to drop the door panel back in order to access behind here. But for what we're going to do, we may or may not have to remove this, but we'll see. Next thing we'll want to do is remove these caps. So you just kind of pull these back. They have a couple of metal anchors that go into this plate. You won't have to, I doubt if you'll have to remove this plate, but we'll see. You do the same thing with the forward one. Again, you pull this one off like this. There are 3 anchor points for this one over here. Next, there's a series of screws just like this that you have to remove. These are tabbed off of the door panel itself. This one right here is broken, but they're supposed to be tabbed off of the door panel, and then you'll be able to remove the panel. You don't have to remove this rubber weather stripping. If you can if you want. They're anchored by these little T-hooks every so often, and you can remove this if you need to replace it, but I think for removing the door panel it looks to be separate. There's another one down here, another screw down here. One slight correction, there is one more screw right up here, so there's a total of 8. That'll allow you to actually remove this. So you can take off the electrical connection for the door lock, as well as the connection for the door handle. So here you'll just kind of disconnect it at the base and then pull this straight out, and then it can be removed. So to remove the door panel, start from the rear, kind of pull this up and then disconnect the security sensor in the back, and then the whole door panel should lift off like this. And there'll be a couple of electrical connections in the back here that you can undo. This is all for the mirror and window switches. They're all in the back. Okay, let's review all the plugs that we have back here. This one is for the security light right next to your door lock plunger. This one is for the door panel door light, rear trunk opening or power trunk opening. These two here for the mirror and for the power windows, and then this is your main, your toggle switch for your main right here. Okay, the moisture barrier has seen better days here. Previous owner had used masking tape to put this up. Try to use thin pieces of high quality duct tape, or just get a whole new moisture barrier if you can, if yours looks as bad as this one. Anyway, the track that we're going to grease is on the inside of here. This is where the window actually rides up and down on this track. So we're going to try to clear out most of the grease that's in here, and then try to lubricate it with a Honda Shin-Etsu grease. The other thing you can use is a silicone grease or silicone spray in that area. In order to get to the front track, we're going to have to remove this speaker enclosure here, as well as the unit over here. So these two units are going to have to drop down, and then we'll be able to get into those areas in order to clean things out. The forward channel is located right here, and you can kind of touch it, reach it all the way down here and everything. And there's definitely a stickiness to it, and it's basically U-shaped with a lip basically at the end. So you have to be able to clean inside both sides of the track, because that's where basically where the wheel contacts, and when that's really sticky, it just slows the whole thing down. The other thing you can look at is within the main track here, check for stickiness or old grease. Try to clean this up also if it is dirty. This one here seems pretty clean, so I suspect that if I clean up the end tracks, it should work. So shop towels are going to be your friend. These you can kind of soak up with something like a brake clean, or even a gasket remover or something like that. Something that's going to be able to break down the grease. I'm going to be improvising with kind of something that's a little bit J-hook here, so that you can kind of get in here with you know, a bundled up towel at the same time. Plus I've got a small steel brush here, so I'll be able to get into it maybe from the back end here, and then try to scrape out as much of the old grease as possible. You want to try to get that as clean as possible, and then apply some sort of a lubricant, like either a graphite lubricant or a silicone lubricant. Again, also the Shin-Etsu Honda grease, track grease, also works pretty well, but you just don't want to put a whole lot on there because it does attract dust. Just to give you a quick idea, this is the kind of grease that comes out of it. There's just one rub down here of the track. So you'll be able to tell when you have it completely cleaned out. It'll become a lot less, there'll be a lot less friction as you're pushing that rag up and down the track. And then again, keep changing out the shop towels as often as you can, because they break down as you're cleaning it out. Now if you ever wanted to remove the window regulator for rebuild, the motor is attached by just these two 10mm here. There's two down here for the track, and there's two up here for the track. Once you disassemble that, you can actually, you got to lower the window down, disconnect its connection to the window, raise the window up, and then tape it in place. But then you can move the window regulator assembly out completely, all as one unit. Okay, so the track here and the tracks over on the side have been lubricated with heavy-duty silicone lubricant. And I've got the door panel here just for testing purposes. I kind of hooked it up so we can kind of see if the window goes up and down properly. So let's see. Turn the car on. And you can see that it goes down much faster than before. Going up's a little bit slow, but it reaches its limit just fine. So I would say that's a success. You just go in the reverse order to put everything back together.